Konnichiwa.
こんにちは。
Just complete pitch blackness. Do see a light up there. Someone's coming the other way. Weird part of this river. Good morning, I'm still Jeremy, and I'm here at Namaze Station in the hills of Hyogo Prefecture. And the train line I took goes from here, continues straight through a bunch of tunnels, straight tunnels, and it's very simple. But it used to be a lot different. The old route used to kind of wind through right by the riverbanks of the Mukogawa River, through the gorge created by the river. And now that old rail is a hiking trail. So I'm gonna hike from here up to Takedao Station and look at the old remnants of this old 1899 railway. This poster in the station explains it. The black dotted line is the current train line. The red one that follows the river is the old pre-1986 route, the one I'm hiking. Old bridges, tunnels, and other rail infrastructure is scattered along the way in the remote Muko River Gorge. So I'm here now at Namaze Station. It's just a half hour just to get to the start of the trail here. And I read over and over, and I was researching this yesterday, that there are no lights. Carry a flashlight. The light on your phone might not be good enough. So I said, okay, I'll get a flashlight, and I forgot. So some of these tunnels are curved and like half a kilometer long. Oh well. The train station first opened here in 1898. It was then called Arimaguchi because it was an access point for the famous Arima Hot Springs area. The station was renamed the next year after the local village. Namaze means something like untouched rapids, an appropriate name due to its location near a wild part of the Muko River. Today this is all part of Nishinomiya City. There's a poster in Namaze Station telling you exactly how to get to the hiking trail from the station. And it was a series of photographs with all these red arrows pointing here and there. So I looked at it and I hope I remember all that. That big train trestle, that's where it goes now, the trains, but it used to follow basically where this tunnel is heading off, splitting off to the right. So the part I'm walking still here is the old railway route. Tunnel is deafening! Konnichiwa.
こんにちは。
Okay, I found it. Here it is. First evidence of the railway, the old Fukuchiyama railway line. So I think this is a good time to talk about what this is, the history of this railway. Here's a great map explaining exactly what's coming. The map is from 2017, although the old railway has been here abandoned for a lot longer than that. So I'll talk about why that is. But I'm here now, so we're going to cross over a bridge over the Najio River, little tiny river, and then the Donjiri River, and then 3 tunnels crossing the big river, Mukogawa, 3 more tunnels, and then that's my ending point. Early rail history in this area came in little bursts. In 1891, a horse-drawn tramway was built between Amagasaki and Itami. It became the steam-powered Setsu Railway in 1893 and was extended to Ikeda. That was purchased by the Hankaku Railway in 1897, which extended it to Takarazuka. It was in 1899 that the section I'm hiking was built, because the Hankaku Railway was extended all the way up to Fukuchiyama in Kyoto Prefecture. The Hankaku Line became part of the Japanese Government Railway System, JGR, in 1907, which later became JNR and then in the 1980s, JR. This line was renamed the Fukuchiyama Line in 1912. And by the way, here's our first bridge. It's a simple little handwritten sign, Nagio River Bridge. And I believe, as most of the bridges and tunnels are going to be on this route, this is an 1899 original. The side river, that's really nice. And the big river, the Mukogawa River. So to continue with the story, in 1912 it was the Fukuchiyama Line, and it was routed here through this gorge, and that's the way it was for the longest time. And then in the 1970s they started talking about maybe adding another track along it so traffic could go in both directions. But they couldn't do that here. There was not enough room around the riverside here. And anyway, the 1899 line was so curvy and so difficult to drive trains on that it needed to be modernized. So that's when, in 1986, they closed all this down. They straightened it out, they added a station, they made it just big, long tunnels and did not hug the banks of the river. And they closed this off. They cordoned it off and they said, you can't come in. Nobody can come in. But people knew that it was such a beautiful route that people kept trespassing and breaking in anyway. And so a few years later, they kind of said, oh, well, it's not officially okay, but they kind of announced, like, if you go on this track, on this trail, then whatever happens to you is your fault at your own risk, but, I guess we won't prosecute you and stuff. So for years, it was kind of a hidden gem, kind of sort of illicit thing to do. In 2008, somebody died on the trail. They fell off one of these walls, and there were rock slides and things. So finally, in the 2010s, here's our second bridge, they said, okay, we're going to officially maintain this as a trail. It's still basically at your own risk, but it is a real trail, so if you get in trouble, we'll try to help you. So since 2016 or 17 or so, it's been an officially recognized, maintained, and promoted trail. Still with the cross ties, these wooden cross beams, which they're not original, but they're probably from 30 or 40 years ago. And the original bridges and tunnels, and a lot of the old buildings and remnants of old buildings and structures like this, which were something at some point. Okay, here it is, the first tunnel. And as I understand it, there's no lighting inside. They're not paved or anything. They didn't do much to the ground, so it could be muddy and whatever. Whatever you see is, well, not see, whatever you encounter is what you encounter. And I hope my iPhone light is good enough for this. I've got my camera on low light mode. I've got my iPhone light on, but it is hard to see. The footage here actually looks pretty bright and easy to see. but my camera just has a good low light function. With my eyes, I was barely able to make out anything, just fuzzy gray blackness and the very faint shapes of the railroad ties. Whoa! Just bought new shoes a couple weeks ago. I guess this is the day they get ruined. Here's the first spike I've noticed. I think they tried to take them all up, but somehow they didn't get that one. Looks like the second tunnel is here, and I think this is the big one, the longest one. Okay, this is the longest tunnel, unlit as usual. It's almost half a kilometer long, and it curves a couple times. So for most of it, you don't see light at either end of the tunnel. And you better hope your iPhone battery with its flashlight is okay. Mine is, so here we go. I do see a light up there. Someone's coming the other way. Or it's a bear with a headlamp. There's people behind me too. Kind of a traffic jam in here today. Okay, well, I'm not halfway yet, but I just wanted to show you that this way, there's nothing, can't see the entrance, just that person with their flashlight. And behind me, can't even tell it's behind me, but just complete pitch blackness. You see it ahead, a little bit of light. I think the camera's picking up a little bit of light. That's it. That's the exit. Seen a lot of cool infrastructure around this little section here. Some old bricks here. Something that looked like, looked like a train platform, but there weren't any stations here, so I don't know what it was. Very cool. Okay, this is perhaps the top highlight visually and as far as dramatic infrastructure goes of the entire hike. So I just came out of this tunnel, which is not terribly long. I didn't actually use my phone light. It was dark inside, but it's just light enough to see the cross ties I was walking on. You immediately come out to the majestic bridge, the only one I think over the Mukogawa River, I think so. And then immediately on the other side there is another tunnel. So I believe this is an 1899 original. When the line was abandoned, there was a walkway over here. It was totally shut off here, so people would come here and walk around here. Now, about 10 years ago when they actually decided to reopen the trail for real, they put a little bridge, more wood here to walk on, and this is the highlight now. Wow, that was fantastic. A fantastic walk over a fantastic bridge. And now, yet another tunnel, this one 306 meters. There's more videos if you join my Patreon, and if you don't, okay, I'm about halfway through and I just wanted to see if you could hear how quiet it is in here. Over there I can still hear the river because that entrance is still visible. So the sound's coming through, but if you just listen, if I would shut up and listen, you can listen to how quiet it is in this 300-meter tunnel. Okay, is our first kind of big look at being on the other side of the Muko River. Okay, here's the first sign that I've actually seen since starting the trail. Here, there is the Cherry Blossom Garden, 300 meters. That's where we're gonna stop for lunch. The train station is 1.6 kilometers, and there's a bathroom up there too. No bathrooms or facilities whatsoever on the entire trail. Okay, this is the entrance to the Cherry Blossom, the Sakura Forest. And in just about a week, maybe a week and a half from now, they're gonna start blooming and being amazing. Probably a lot more people will be here. Unfortunately, I'm here a couple weeks early. I do have some Sakura cherry blossom blooming things planned for videos, but the schedule just brought me here today, and that's just kind of how it is. So a little bit early, but I'm gonna go up there and see what's there and see if there's a place for lunch. I believe this is the last tunnel, so a bittersweet and short tunnel, 91 meters. And as I've been saying, or at least thinking all day, you have to imagine yourself before 1986, even back in 1899. You're on a train, you're going right here, the river was right here just like it is now, and you got to see all of this from the train. It's a shame that they rerouted it, but I guess that's progress for a train company. To double track it, get people around faster. And I'm glad they kept this as a hiking trail. Good sense finally won out. And my hike ends with a free footbath. So that's it. That's the look at what the train used to be, the trail that it used to be, and it was great. The checklist today: abandoned bicycle, interesting statue or figurine, motor scooter, obachon with cart, notable bird, cartoon drawing on sign, graffiti, hair salon, tree cut into circles, car elevator, beer vending machine. Okay, well, I'm going to go look at the station here and then ride to my hotel, which is not too far away, and I got a hotel tonight, and tomorrow I'm going to be investigating a train line called the Hankyu Imazu line, which is a weird line because it's like split into two. It's been split in two, but it's still a thing, kind of. Anyway, so that's next video, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Always carry a towel, you never know. Here comes my train. And I get to see the other part of the train line, the new part, the part I didn't hike. I'm gonna go on this little side trail here. Watch today's full video without ads and get more exclusive travel logs, video diaries, and other stuff. Pedestrians, be careful. As a paid or free supporter at patreon.com/T1DWanderer. Found a secret realm. Special thanks this week, in random order, to Will Phillips, Lever Wong, Samantha, Matt Kane, Russell Davis, Calvin Ferreira, David Richley, Ray Nichols, and Thomas G. Ritchie. Thanks for wandering around the old Fukuchiyama line with me. Everywhere is worth exploring.